I'm Allison Hill, and I'm the CEO of the American Booksellers Association, which is a national not-for-profit trade association for independent bookstores around the country. I feel so lucky that somebody recommended Pollack Peacebuilding Systems to our organization about a year ago. We were looking for de-escalation training for our members, who are all retailers, who were attending one of our big conferences. And we knew there was a great need for this type of training, and we really didn't know who to go to. So I feel lucky that we were introduced, and Pollack Peacebuilding Systems did a training at our conference for a large group of members. I was lucky enough to attend that training and really quickly realized that we had stumbled on an amazing relationship. The presentation was so good, it was so strong. I felt like attendees were given tools that they really needed and that they could put to use. And it was also an opportunity to create a common language for them to use going forward as we talked about the challenges in the world and the de-escalation that is so critical right now. I was impressed with our trainer. She was a gifted facilitator who presented everything very clearly and intelligently. And there were so many moments that I felt like were helping me think about things differently in terms of de-escalation and in terms of the moments that I find myself in, whether it be personally or professionally, and how I could think about those moments in a new way that might open up new possibilities. One of the great takeaways for me in the training with Pollack Peacebuilding Systems and for my team from the feedback we got was that so often when you're dealing with a crisis and dealing with some sort of conflict with another person, you're thinking about how to calm the other person, how to make the problem go away. And one of the takeaways for me was my role in that exchange and how I could think about self-regulation and self-awareness and be more of an active participant and partner with the other person to work together toward resolution rather than let's just get this over with, which I think is sometimes the instinct. The Pollack Peacebuilding Systems program completely exceeded my expectations, and I admittedly had very high expectations going in, and it still exceeded my expectations. I hired Pollack to do training for our members, but it was such a strong presentation that I subsequently hired them again to immediately train my staff. In fact, we have a follow-up session coming up because I just want to continue the dialogue that this opened for my team. It gave them such great tools, but it also, again, gave us this common language where we can talk about conflict in a new and a productive way. And given the experience with the first training we did with our staff, we do trainings all the time. I've never seen more people in one of our trainings participate. The facilitator inspired engagement, and almost every single person engaged either in the chat or in discussion. It was a Zoom call, and it was very meaningful to people. We got some of the most positive feedback we've ever gotten about a training. We initially hired Pollack Peacebuilding Systems to do one training with our staff, but it was so successful and the demand was so great to continue the conversation that we immediately reached out to have a follow-up session to build off of what we learned in the first session. It was incredibly easy to work with Pollack Peacebuilding Systems from day one, just easy to communicate with, very responsive, very interested in customizing the training to meet our needs and really understanding our context and our community so that they could speak to our needs in a meaningful way, and they absolutely delivered on that. I would highly recommend PPS to other companies, and we anticipate continuing this relationship and continuing to work with them.